Welcome back to the Now Morning Show. Our next conversation focuses on the Green Screen Environmental Film Festival, and particularly the student screenings that are taking place on January 22nd and 23rd at Queen's Hall. Joining us this morning is Carver Bacchus. Carver is the founder and director of the Green Screen Environmental Film Festival. Good morning, Carver, and welcome.
Good morning, Natasha. Thank you very much for having me on.
It's a pleasure to have you with us on the show this morning, and Happy New Year to you and yours, hoping that it has started off on a great foot and looking forward to hearing a bit more about this film festival. Now, before we get into the details of the 22nd and the 23rd, can you share some background on what exactly is the Green Screen Environmental Film Festival?
Sure, yeah. So Green Screen, as you said, is an environmental film festival. And I mean, our focus is really to use film for the purposes of what we like to call edutainment. Environmental issues are often seen as a little bit boring, a little bit dry, a little bit technical. It's not exactly an area that the general public would say, yes, I'm super excited about checking out this environmental issue per se, right? It's something that people tend to avoid and leave to the technical people. The reality is that, environmental and sustainability issues are things that connect to every aspect of our lives, our health, our transportation, our ability to produce food, or ability to drive our economy. It's really one of those very ubiquitous sort of issues, particularly in this time in 2025, when so many countries around the world are challenged by climate change, including those in our region like Trinidad and Tobago. So we really use Green Screen to bring those issues to communities, to individuals, to students in particular, so that they can, understand them, and also be energized, by these stories that we bring to them via the film festival. As I said, it's really a question of edutainment. So you're being educated, of course, and at the same time you're being entertained and hopefully motivated and sort of invigorated to go and get more information, to get involved, to do something. Ultimately, we hope to get our audience sort of excited to take action. That's really important to us.
It is very important as well, of course, to the entire world, as you mentioned, that this is something that we do see trending, but it's great to see that you're putting a more positive and let's say a bit more of a fun element into it, specifically with the films. Let's talk about this year's Green Screen Environmental Film Festival. What is the theme this year, and how exactly are these student films being incorporated?
Yeah, so our theme this year was Connect. And like I said, environmental and sustainability issues connect to, every aspect of our lives. But particularly as it relates to the student event, what we are presenting to the students this year is an opportunity to not only look at films, but also experience career talks from people who are working in the field of sustainability. We feel as though, teenagers, kids, high schoolers in particular, who are considering the careers that they want to follow, who are considering the sort of, I suppose, perspective they want to have on their future and, their professional sort of advancement. We really want to give them the opportunity to hear from people, particularly people on the younger side of the career trajectory, who've been able to, make quite a lot of strides in the area of sustainability, in the area of community development, in the area of environmental science, and we're really not just getting, I suppose, folks who tick the boxes. We're also trying to get folks to come and talk to these kids who really have a perspective on what it means to take action in their communities and do things and create projects and do work that is impactful.
How about who will be involved? No, by all means.
Go ahead.
No, by all means, continue.
No, so you asked me who's going to be involved. I guess you're asking about who are going to be the speakers, yes?
Yes.
All right. So we have a gentleman, for example, called Dareem Jeffries, a young guy from South Trinidad who started a company called Eco Wash that basically uses Like, I think it's less than a bucket of water to wash a car. He has these units that he's developed. So he's saving water, he's employing youths, and at the same time, he's educating his community about the importance of conserving, natural resources like water. So he's going to be there to talk to the students about his, career trajectory, what he's done, how he ended up where he is with this business that is actually quite successful. And we're also going to speak to Lawrence Arjun, who's the CEO of the Heroes Foundation, that at first glance maybe does not sit directly in the environmental space, but certainly makes a great impact in terms of youth engagement, youth action, and the sustainability landscape in Trinidad and Tobago. So Lawrence is going to be coming to talk to our students about his career realities, the challenges he's faced, some of these successes he's been able to have. And also it's important to understand, what these folks have studied, you know what I mean? What has prepared them for these sort of careers, how they go about, putting together, how they've gone about putting together their careers, who are their mentors, the kind of things that they're interested in, how they keep motivated. All of these things are important to ensure that the kids understand, oh yeah, there's a way that I can get into this space and contribute.
Undoubtedly. Now, as you mentioned, the children in particular, what age group is the screening open to?
The events are open to all students in high school, from Form 1 to Form 6. So high school teachers are really the ones that we need to make sure that they go to greenscreen.film. And once you go to our website, you can click on one of the two tabs, or both, if you want to come to both days, for January 22nd and January 23rd. We do still have spaces, but of course it's filling up. We only have about 2 more weeks to the events. Yeah, we really want to welcome students and teachers from across Trinidad and Tobago to come to Queen Soil on January 22nd and 23rd. It's very easy to register. And I think you can register up to, I think, 50 students at a time. So yeah, just go, students and teachers in particular, if you want to bring your classes, go on to greenscreen.film, and we will certainly accept your registration. I don't think we have a cutoff. I think we're just going to accept as many registrations as possible. And when we fill up, we fill up.
Kava, how do you think films can help raise awareness about environmental issues in ways that traditional education can't?
Yeah, well, traditional education, as we in Trinidad have come to know it, is really very, uh, it's a formula, right? It's very formulaic. You have your materials, you study, you do an exam, and that's sort of the system, which isn't particularly exciting. So I think using film and having these sort of open-ended questions that the students have the opportunity to ask themselves and ask their teachers is super important. Film is also a very accessible medium, certainly in our time. Everybody has access to video and videos and content. That's what the whole social media space is built on. So that's why, for example, we developed the Very Short Shorts mobile film competition. That's one of the sort of marquee activities that we have under the banner of the festival, where folks have the opportunity to make a 1-minute film with their mobile phones. And yeah, we have a youth category, and there's been a lot of engagement with that, because we continue to want to use the festival to sort of democratize the film space, and also give people access, give students access, give communities access, give groups access to sort of environmental information, and inspiring environmental stories. So yeah, I mean, we really try to make it interesting, try to make the programs exciting, and motivate students in particular and our audience in general to you know, take it upon ourselves to go and find more information, because we don't consider this to be the be all and end all of your environmental education, right? Even though, we've done a lot of work to ensure that how we have developed the program certainly does fit with high school curriculum.
Mhm.
So, environmental science, physics, geography, social studies, all of these subject areas have an endpoint to our program.
It's great to hear that as well, particularly, of course, the fact that, yes, you can come and you can enjoy yourselves, but you expect to see things manifest afterwards. And as we mentioned that, are there any particular rules you see students themselves being able to create an environmental change at all after attending?
Yeah, this is the thing, right? Because the challenges that we face in the environmental and sustainability space are so ubiquitous, the reality is that if you're a lawyer, you can make a contribution in the environmental space. If you're a farmer, of course, you can. If you're an engineer, if you're an architect, even if you're an insurance, underwriter, these are spaces that, we have to understand that there's a sustainability sort of perspective that can be brought to any role in society, policeman, fireman. This is the reality of the time that we're living in now. And that's what we're trying to engender, with the students, to let them know, yeah, you don't have to study environmental science and become a policy analyst. No, you can basically weave in these elements to whatever career you want. You can design your own sort of trajectory in that sense, and include the things that you want to see. And when you get a eventually go through university, you get a job, then you're bringing those sustainability sensibilities to that job as well.
Yeah, adding those layers to different professions. Kava, on the 22nd and the 23rd, how many screenings are there going to be? And will the same films be screened on each day?
Yeah, so the same films will be screened on each day. There will be a different speaker each day, though. And we're going to show several short films, as well as films from our program, the Very Short Shows program that I mentioned earlier. So we're going to have a very diverse sort of program. There's going to be a lot of activities for the students to engage with. There's going to, we're going to have quizzes and activities and prizes, of course, from our sponsors like the National Gas Company, for example. They're going to be providing some prizes for our quizzes. Yeah, it's going to be a relatively tight program. The entire program is about 2 hours. So we're gonna have the films, and then after that, we're gonna have the career talks, which are sort of gonna be styled in a sort of TEDx approach to a talk. And then the students are gonna have the opportunity to hear from the green career speakers more directly and ask them questions. We're gonna have a sort of interview panel set up, so that, yeah, the bravest of the students, I suppose, can step up and ask them very specific questions that they might have been inspired to ask from the talk, or maybe something that they came with a curiosity about to the event, that they would have had a prepared question. Yeah, but we also find it very important to engage with the kids to ensure that, yeah, they actually, they understand, they have the opportunity to ask questions and, get satisfactory responses, in order to inform what is next for them.
Great. Now, Kava, before we wrap, though, I'd love to find out from you directly and from you and your team, I guess, what made you decide that it was time to do student screenings, particularly in the film festival?
The student screenings have almost from the beginning, I think maybe the second year, green screen is going into its 15th year, this year, 2025. So I think from the second year, we started doing student screenings. Yeah, because obviously, you know, the old cliche, the students are the future, and the future of the nation is in students' book bags, and all those things. These are things that we actually believe, even though they sound very much cliche in 2025. Um, if we can sort of inform students, if we can inspire students to put two and two together and understand that if we're going to be, for example, responding to climate change, that they need to understand these issues. And like I said before, they need to be able to weave them into their sort of daily life and their professional response to climate change. Then, in 10 years, I think we'd be in a much better place than we were 10 years ago. That's what we really want. We want an informed society that understands these issues, that prioritizes response to these issues, and is able to, make good decisions, in the future. And I think that we're making strides in that area, certainly, I think.
Congratulations to you and your team, and hoping that you'll be able to continue to shine and make those strides. Thank you for joining us, Carver. Have an excellent day.
Thank you very much.
Carver Bacchus joining us this morning to speak about the Green Screen Film Festival. For those of you who are interested, it's free and open to groups of secondary school students and tertiary level students. You can call them at 319-4749 for more information. Stay tuned, and our morning show will be back after this short break.